Now, I know I've been meaning to do a video for a while. I said I was going to do one, and I think it's been 2 weeks since my last video. So, without further ado, let's get into things. First off, sports versus television and movie. Let's call it arts and entertainment. So, my issue with sports versus arts and entertainment. You've got two different subcultures that are bred through this. You see a movie, you see a television show. It's a little different than somebody who's sitting there watching sports. I feel like you get more out of a TV series or out of a film that you enjoy because of the art that's in it. There is no art in sports. Look at the fan base of sports. Look at sports fans. Look at the culture and look at the behavior. All right. Now, people who were in sports when I was in high school, they were bullies. They were assholes. They were cocksuckers. Not going to lie, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm going to tell you that when you go to these Super Bowl parties, what is more amusing than the Super Bowl game itself and halftime is watching other people interact. And you see it all over Facebook. There's all this stuff about the Patriots being undefeated thus far. There's, Cowboys, this one stupid story about they found a fucking line on the field and they called in the feds or whatever and they said, oh, it's the goal line, and the Cowboys said that they didn't panic because they'd never see it again the rest of the season. Stupid shit like that. Okay? And this is bred every fucking where. And it gets worse as you go deeper into it. And I will do that another time. So I'm going to make that a little thing. I'm going to start including this in my videos about sports and its huge detriment to society. So a little introduction into that. Why I brought this up is because I get into arguments with people at the gym all the time. People will talk about, oh, you're from where? Oh, you must be an MSU Spartans fan. Nope, I'm fucking not. I don't like Spartans. I don't like Michigan. Michigan and Michigan State are two different things, just so you know. And it's a big battle, the beefs, whatever the fuck. I don't care. All right. Without further ado, I've been really looking forward to doing this for a while. Let's do films versus TV series. Now, I was a film guy, more so than I watched TV. And I still am to a point, but I'm not watching anything new. You guys heard the last thing I went to theaters to go see was Paranormal Activity Ghost Dimensions. It was the last thing I went and saw in theaters. And I haven't seen that many movies this year, and that's really abnormal. So, I brought this up for a good reason. So, let's take The Walking Dead, and let's take Marvel. Two overrated things, completely different though. Now, people would say Marvel and these DC movies, these comic book movies in general, are overrated. And to an extent, they are. Then you've got The Walking Dead that's overrated. But they're overrated in two different ways. Walking Dead is overrated because of the fan base. Marvel and DC is overrated because it's saturated with its sequels, with its Phase 500 and whatever the hell. You've got three Iron Man movies. You've got a third Captain America movie, which isn't going to be just Captain America. It should just be called Civil War, because you're going to basically have almost all the Avengers in it, minus Incredible Hulk and a few others. We get the introduction of Black Panther, I guess. Whatever. Then you've got Suicide Squad, which I was looking forward to until I saw all these comic book movies that were coming out for 2016. And I'm like, what the fuck? Really? This is bullshit. I'm not happy about this. And I'll tell you why I'm not happy about this. Stan Lee and whoever's doing the DC comics or whatever, they have a stranglehold on the film industry because people aren't going to theaters as much as they used to. And people want to see these things on a big screen. Ant-Man did terrible. This is their second remake of Fantastic Four that just released this year, and it did poorly. And they're doing remakes and reboots and Marvel phases, and it's all bullshit, really. I feel like that there's nothing special coming out of any of these movies except for Suicide Squad, because Batman, for the first time in film history, is not the main guy. For a full-length, live-action, full-screen film on the silver screen, big guy Batman does not get to play numero uno in a film of Suicide Squad. He gets to be the beeline. He gets to be the guy who's basically the villain that you barely see, and it's not. Think Die Hard. You see Die Hard all the time. You don't see a whole lot of the villain. Now we're going to see more of the Joker and Harley Quinn and whoever else is in this movie. Will Smith with his superpowers of like being a really bad actor, and you've got Batman who's going to be second to them. I want to see Suicide Squad because of that reason, because that is different. And if you can offer me something different that I have not seen before, I'll probably take you up on it. So, Walking Dead versus Marvel. With Walking Dead, you've got a story that's being told from beginning to end, and it's continuous. It's continuous. There's no... When they did the spinoff of Fear the Walking Dead, it failed. They tried. I can't get into it. I don't care about any of the characters. I can't relate to any of them. When I saw Rick get stuck in that tank at the end of the first episode, I was sold on the entire... I was sold. There was nothing that could stop me from wanting to watch it. Because The Walking Dead is very unique with having comic books, graphic novels prior to the show, you've got the person who wrote those who's doing the show. They had special guest directors for a little while, I'm told. Whatever. It's art, it's entertainment, there's drama, there's action, there's shock, there's controversy, there's everything. AMC almost pulled Walking Dead. Yeah. And there's more character development, and I feel like that there's more relativity as far as mass media goes. Now, I take the Walking Dead fan base, and I'd stick it with the same fans of Marvel to an extent. See, when I first watched Walking Dead, there wasn't merchandise. There wasn't anybody really talking about it. It was me and a few others that would talk about it and hope to God that it continued. And then they started catering to the masses. And I kind of feel like that spoiled The Walking Dead a little bit. And I feel like that might have changed the way that the screenplays for the episodes have been written as time went on. And I don't like that very much. But what can you do when you're the one guy versus, millions of sheep? So, comparing Walking Dead to Marvel, let's go to AHS versus Metaphysical Films. American Horror Story versus Metaphysical Films. Now, I felt like this was a much closer comparison. My previous comparison was more apples to oranges. I'm willing to admit that. But it's to give you an idea of where my thought process is starting to go in gears and going with this. Now, American Horror Story is beautiful. You're not getting the same thing every season. You're getting the same actors with different characters, different storylines, and it's all a different plot and a premise. You've got American Horror Story, the first season. You've got Asylum, Coven, Freak Show. I feel like I'm missing one, and you've got Hotel. Maybe I'm not missing one. 5 seasons? I don't know. But right now I'm in the middle. It was Cortez that sold me. I didn't watch any of the other ones prior. I got into Cortez, and I started watching this, and I was like, my God, this is amazing. Like, do I need any backstory on this? Like, I don't understand. So I watched it. I felt like I understood it enough, and then I watched the first season completely, and I was like, this is great. Then I started watching Asylum, gave up on it. I ignored Coven because I don't care about witches, and I got into Freak Show a little bit. I could watch it, I could not. I don't care. And I definitely got into Cortez. So it's got a different storyline for everything. And it's supernatural stuff. A lot of it is. There's a lot of ghosts. There's a lot of like vampires and stuff like that, which is stuff I'm not normally into. But American Horror Story has that magic to it that really made me pay attention and made me realize that this is something special. This could change television completely. You're looking at things we haven't seen on television. This is like Are You Afraid of the Dark? Are You Afraid of the Dark for adults? Which I feel is really important. And a huge, crucial standpoint as far as TV goes. Because they've pushed the envelope past The Walking Dead. They surpassed all of that with the tent with what was his face and Rick's wife. That was considered taboo years ago. And American Horror Story just comes out and says, we're going to do this. And hopefully FX will approve. And they did. And FX putting out American Horror Story like that, now I feel like other TV series have to step up their game a little bit. American Horror Story is a game changer. I'm not going to lie. And I find more interest in American Horror Story than I do in the Paranormal Activity franchise. I find it just as interesting as I did with the Final Destination franchises, and every one was different. It all had the same, basic premise of death, but it was all different characters, different storylines, and with like a little bit of like a recap a little bit. And you see that in American Horror Story. With Saw, an amazing franchise that just kept getting better and better and better, minus 3. Like, it was 1 and 2 were great, and then the third one I really don't care for the third one, and then 4, 5, 6, and the final chapter. Amazing movies. Absolutely fucking amazing. Call it torture porn, whatever you want to call it, but those movies were well written, with great twists, and that's what kept people coming to see these things. How far are they going to push the envelope? Where's the torture going to go? How much blood are we going to see? How are they going to give us a twist ending? Will I be able to predict the twist ending? So no matter how bad you wanted or not wanted Saw to stop after the first, second, third, whatever, it continued and you kept watching it. Most of you, I'm sure. And American Horror Story brings that with the twists, with everything that happens between characters, like the shock value of it all is like what really draws people in. A little bit of controversy. I mean, it's already confirmed for a 6th season. So, yeah, that's pretty fucking exciting. Or 7th season. Now, as far as metaphysical films go, the Paranormal Activity franchise, it got great with Ghost Dimensions, and I hope it closes it. I hope Paranormal Activity is done with. I hope The Insidious is done with. I hope they'll do one more Sinister film, because Sinister 2 I felt better than the original, and I felt Sinister 2 had a lot more to offer. And if they do a third one to just put a little cherry on that ice cream for me, I'll be happy. I'm going to eat that ice cream. As soon as they drop that little cherry on it, I'm going to devour it, and it's going to be done with, and I'm going to move on to the next bowl of ice cream, because I'm a glutton. But there's nothing original coming out anymore. There's remakes, there's sequels, and then there's like mini franchises. Like, I feel when it comes into metaphysical films, Unfriended was a game changer as far as the way it's filmed. But it also opened up that valve, much like Saw did, where you've got these poorly written, poorly acted films that are given great reviews by websites you've probably never even heard of. Zombie Diaries is like the perfect example. Not Diary of the Dead. Zombie Diaries is the perfect example. You look at the cover of that DVD, you're like, this looks dope. And then you buy the DVD and you watch it, and it looks like it was filmed in somebody's backyard. You see what I'm saying? Like, there's that mishap of a hit or a miss. We watched this movie called Hidden. A great one-room thriller, which broke, by the way, all the rules of a one-room thriller. It started out as such, broke the rules with a twist ending that I could have been happy with had they had left it alone. I'm not going to give any spoilers, but they couldn't leave well enough alone. Like, they had it. They had it, and they fucked you with it. They turned around and said, nope, we're going to just shove it down there a little bit more. And you're like, well, you fucking overkilled, basically. Junk. And then you've got movies like Sanitarium. Now, my thing with Sanitarium, I don't know if it's a new movie or not, but it's like a 3-story thing. Again, like a supernatural little twist, very little explanation, and they throw Robert Englund on there and stuff like that. Like, these are what I'm talking about when it comes to metaphysical films. It's the same damn thing over and over again, and they sell you with a twist. Devil's Due with all these fucking infant fucking birth things that Rosemary's Baby started, and then fucking a funnel opened, they turned the valve and outshot all this nonsense garbage bullshit. And every once in a while you can pick out a little bit of something. Now, it ain't a diamond, but it's probably a nice little shiny rock that'll at least keep your attention for an hour and a half. So metaphysical films versus American Horror Story. American Horror Story does it better. American Horror Story gives you something that's not even just awe-inspiring as far as acting goes, but like with take Justin Timberlake when he did Alpha Dog. Like, I saw Justin Timberlake's name on this movie and refused to watch it because I'm like, I'm not going to fucking watch a movie with Justin Timberlake. Who the fuck would want to do that? Not this guy. Do I look like no, I'm not. So I watch it and I was blown away. So then I hear that Lady Gaga, who, by the way, I did not like in Machete Kills, with the weird Cuba Gooding Jr. thing, and no, I was not sold on that. So that's my impression of Lady Gaga as an actress, right? So I'm fed this through Machete Kills with Lady Gaga as an actress. I'm not even familiar with her music. And now they're telling me that Lady Gaga is going to be in Hotel Cortez. And I'm like, oh, God, I don't... Like, you had me. And now you've got her doing this in this show. I don't want anything to do with it. So I sat down and I'm like, what's the worst that could happen? And again, I used Alpha Dog and Justin Timberlake as a reference. And my mind, again, was blown. Lady Gaga kills it in American Horror Story. Absolutely kills it. But once again, much like The Walking Dead, American Horror Story became this like fandom thing, much like the Marvel movies. I just feel like there's a different entity there. I feel like with American Horror Story, there's something with a little more substance to it. There's something, as much as I want to avoid this word, whimsical, about American Horror Story versus a man in an iron suit that flies and he's an asshole and whatever. And it's basically the actor Robert Downey Jr. playing as Robert Downey Jr. And then you've got this mixed match of like all these superpowers. I would much rather sit down and watch Walking Dead, where everyone's got their own ability on a realistic level. Glenn's a good scout, which congratulations, Glenn, for surviving. Yay! You've got Rick, who's a good leader. Daryl, who's a good, just a badass at everything he does with his motorcycle. He's good at riding motorcycles. He's good with his crossbow. He's good at getting caught and fucking almost dead a bunch of times. But whatever, that's Daryl's job. And he does a good job. Kind of like what Black Widow in Marvel. I remember her in the Avengers, where I think it was Avengers, where she was captured deliberately, and then it went into her favor. Kind of like that. I know I just kind of compared Daryl to Black Widow, but same in that sense. So overall, TV shows versus movie franchises. TV shows lately have a way of being consistent, of being persistent, and innovative. While movie franchises are just becoming saturated and more and shoved down your throat by comic book people. And I'll say it, Screen Junkies does a real good job at catering to comic book people, which is one of the reasons why I'm like, Screen Junkies, movie fight. I used to be excited about these. Now we're going to talk about Star Wars again. George Lucas walked away from Star Wars because people are putting too much pressure on him. Like, what the fuck? Who does that? Your favorite fucking director, and you're like, no, you put the sticker on the wrong side of the helmet. Whatever. Petty shit. Like The Walking Dead, didn't side up with the graphic novels, and you hear this much complaining, but if they do something wrong in Star Wars, you feel the earth shake a little bit. With roars over at Comic-Con and all this other stuff, and people with their foam lightsabers beating each other. It's ridiculous. And the one guy who could stop the treacherous prequels, I stopped watching him after, I think it was Attack of the Clones, Clone Wars, Attack of the Clones. It was Attack of whatever, and it was the second Star Wars movie, and I was not interested. I watched Mask of the Phantasm? Phantom Menace. That's the one. I watched that in theaters and thought, meh, okay. I'm 9 years old, 10 years old, whatever. I'm happy. Special effects, bright lights, blinky lightsabers, Jar Jar Binks. Good movie. I mean, not the best. And I watch the second one, I'm like, I'm done. I think I've had it. And now people are excited about Force Awakens shut down fucking ticket sites. Good for you. Yeah. So, yeah. Overrated. Which brings me to this subject. Underrated films and overrated films. Star Wars, overrated. Flat out say it. Don't even give me shit for it. You know it's true. You're sitting there with your lightsaber right now. I guarantee it. Let's talk about underrated versus overrated films. And I'm going to attack some of my own here. Don't come over here with your lightsabers and your fucking laser guns. Give me a minute. House of a Thousand Corpses versus Devil's Rejects. Now, we got into an argument about this one night. And I says, Devil's Rejects I felt like was an overrated film. To which she replied, no. I'm like, whoa. Devil's Rejects got way more recognition than House of a Thousand Corpses. More people have seen Devil's Rejects than they have a House of a Thousand Corpses. I guarantee it. Believe me. So, I said, if I could go up to 5 people, these 5 people have seen Devil's Rejects. My stepmom has seen Devil's Rejects. My dad has seen Devil's Rejects. Both my brothers have seen Devil's Rejects. None of them have seen House of a Thousand Corpses. None of them. These people who saw Devil's Rejects and really liked it, Ebert and Roper absolutely loved that film. Were like stroking it to this film. They loved it so much. Absolutely thought that it was a great film with its soundtrack and everything. It was a great film. Don't get me wrong. But do you know what was an even better film? An even better film was, and I'll tell you, was House of a Thousand Corpses. And Devil's Rejects destroyed House of a Thousand Corpses. It really did. I love both movies. Again, don't get me wrong. Now you can put your lightsabers down. You probably feel a little bit better. And House of a Thousand Corpses did not lead into Devil's Rejects accordingly. It was more dark and more Luciferian, satanic, cultural, deadly, sacrificing, killing people, turning them into fucking pieces of art. Not bad. Good, concept. And then it turns into like this Bonnie and Clyde, Charles Manson and the family kind of thing. Devil's Rejects would have been a great standalone movie had it been with different characters. You could use the same actors, have them play different people or whatever. You could switch their names up. It didn't have to be Captain Spaulding in that movie. Did it show you a different side of that family? Yeah, but there was no indication that the family was even like that in House of a Thousand Corpses. And for those of you who have not seen House of a Thousand Corpses, you can find it, I'm sure. But those of you who have seen Devil's Rejects have no idea that there was a movie prior to that with those characters. Because, again, overrated. As a matter of fact, little tidbit, Devil's Rejects got a TV spot on Monday Night Raw. I'll never forget that. All right, let's talk underrated films here. One in particular I felt was underrated was The Voices. A friend of mine, we talked for like a week or two. Anyway, she served her purpose, talking to me about films and what have you. And we talked for briefly a week or so, and we talked about underappreciated movies and stuff like that. And this was, Christ, back in May. And she introduced me to a movie called The Voices. Now, it's got Ryan Reynolds in it, which turned my stomach, turned my brain, and I said, there better be something good about this. I do not like Ryan Reynolds. Can't fucking stand the guy. Can't fucking stand him. She convinces me to give this movie a chance. Okay, fair enough. I will give this movie a chance. Why not? I got nothing to lose, right? About an hour and a half of my life. And I was absolutely amazed. Spoiler, the Ryan Reynolds we see in The Voices is going to be very similar and a good lead-in to the Ryan Reynolds we're going to be seeing in Deadpool. Which is another movie that I was excited about, and then I wasn't. But Deadpool's going to do just fine because it's going to be released in February. A safe bet done by Marvel deliberately. So, there you have it. Check out The Voices with Ryan Reynolds. It's a dark comedy. It's got elements in it that will make you laugh. If you liked Cat Dog, this is got a little bit of cat dog for adults, much like American Horror Story is Are You Afraid of the Dark for adults. It's kind of nice to have that little bit of nostalgia without it being spoon fed to you with a shovel. Now, let's talk one more comparison because I just watched this movie and I really felt like bringing this up. Mars Attacks versus Independence Day. Now, a lot of you thinking, what the fuck is Mars Attacks? Mars Attacks was a movie that came out when I was younger. My dad was working at the theater at the time, so he'd take me to movies for free. And I begged and fought him, and I wanted him to take me to go see Mars Attacks. And he was against it. He did everything he could because he told me to take me to the movies. I got to pick the movie. I chose Mars Attacks. He was not happy about it. He made me clean my room. As a kid, that sucks. Made me vacuum my room. Like, he made me fucking detail clean my room. Say that 10 times fast. And I did, to make sure I go see this movie. And I remember the movie poster was just all the alien brain heads just like in rows, much like the cover of Disturbed's 10,000 Fists. Was that the name of it? I think so. Anyways, it's got all those people holding up their fists. It was a lot like that, except it was just all these alien brains. And it has a great cast. It's got Jack Nicholson playing his two characters, the president and some cowboy rich guy, southern dude thing. Pierce Brosnan, Michael J. Fox. I'm not going to tell you what happens to Michael J. Fox in the film, but it's interesting. Danny DeVito. We've got Jack Black. And a bunch of others. You get to see Jackie Brown in the movie, which for little bits here and there, nothing major, but you at least get to see her in the movie, considering the woman who played Jackie Brown hasn't done a whole lot. So there you go. Moving on, Mars Attacks versus Independence Day. You've got the guy from Jurassic Park from 1 and 2, Jurassic Park and then The Lost World. You got that guy, Dr. Malcolm. There you go. In Independence Day. And then you've got Will Smith, and you've got a guy who's always been a funny president or done funny roles in a parody as president in that film, and you versus Jack Nicholson being president in Mars Attacks. Now, Independence Day, they show it every 4th of July, right? Every 4th of July, because, yeah, Independence Day, America, and red, white, and blue, etc., Ted Nugent. But you've got Mars Attacks, which is, strange to say, but a darker, much darker, like, approach to an alien invasion. Like, everyone saw the White House blow up, and everyone was like, oh. But in Mars Attacks, you get to see state representatives in Congress get fried with these little aliens with these little laser guns. It's hysterical. You see the Capitol building get shot on by the military because the aliens are inside. You see Paris crumble too soon. You see the Eiffel Tower like just melt and topple. You see the Mount Washington Monument, in DC, getting pushed by a flying saucer. It shoots down this beam, and it starts toppling. There's these kids that are approaching it, and they're trying to run away. And then when they run away in one direction, the saucer pushes it that way. Then when the kids run the other way, it pushes it towards the kids. Great little funny bits of sequence. This one lady releases a dove, or this one guy releases a dove, and the aliens shoot it. And then they started like fighting with the military because they were greeting the aliens coming in. It's a great, great film. It's definitely a Mel Brooks, Tim Burton work of art. It's something you'll never see remade or touched. It's sacred, and it's very underrated, and for that, I'm grateful. And I'm giving you this opportunity to watch Mars Attacks because if you enjoy watching things blow up, but you like that little bit of dark comedy and you like that little chuckle instead of like a laugh out loud funny, you want that little, yeah, I see what they did there. This movie is for you. So let's talk about upcoming films. I'm going to close this out here real quick. I think this is record time. Upcoming films: Deadpool. I'll see it because I'm going to go. It's going to be my Valentine's Day gift. Fuck you, don't judge me. I'm going to go see Hateful Eight, which is going to be my Christmas and or birthday gift. If I can go see it for Christmas, great. If I gotta wait till my birthday, great. Either way, I'm seeing it. So very excited about that. It's a Quentin Tarantino film, of course. And there's a bunch of fucking, again, politics behind it and all this, that, and the other. Screen Junkies Plus. If you, 10 of you that watch my videos, if you have not checked out Screen Junkies, you can now get the app for the channel that you may or may not be familiar with. If you want to spend $5 a month, you get Monday Night Monday Night Raw, which is Nick Mundy, who's a funny guy. I love Nick Mundy. I don't take the guy seriously when it comes to movie fights, but he's hysterical. He's got his own show on there. There's a lady who talks about television shows, and she knows television shows. They've got Interns of Field, which is like an Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. knockoff parody thing. So you get that on the app. You'll still get movie fights. Saturdays now, it has been, you get it a day early, so you get the weekend to talk about it, to think about it. I haven't watched my movie fight from this weekend. I will do that, though. You've got Honest Trailers every Tuesday. Jon Bailey, please, if there's anybody who you're going to listen to me to follow Jon Bailey on Facebook, JonBailey. And I am telling you this because I try to put the links in the description and I either forget or it just doesn't work, or I just did. There's like 10 of you and you guys follow me on Facebook anyway, so it don't matter. And Honest Trailers every Tuesday. Epic Voice Guy, Jon Bailey does them. He does honest reviews. Check out his honest reviews. I don't agree with all of his reviews, but I respect the guy enough to watch these videos, be entertained by these videos, and this, that, and the other. So, yeah. Check out Deadpool when it comes out, because I'll be seeing it, and it's probably going to be the movie I see in February. Check out Hateful Eight because, hey, why not piss off the cops, right? And I think that'll probably about do it for my excitement for 2016. However, one more thing that I just remembered. Now You See Me Too is coming out. Mark Ruffalo. Holy shit, I think I remember the guy's name correctly. Juffalo? Something Uffalo. That dude who turns into Hulk in Avengers and in his third movie. I don't remember. But anyways, he's going to be back in action with Woody Harrelson and your original cast. It better be good because I'm just not really trusting these sequels coming out. It hurts my feelings. It kills me. It really does. Like, why are you doing this to me? It's fucking horseshit. It beats watching the Shannon and Amber bullshit, though. I had to throw that in my video fucking somewhere. I'm not even going to give it any more attention than that. Those of you who know what I'm talking about, I feel bad for you. I feel fucking bad for you that you know what I'm talking about. I'm so in trouble when she watches this. So, Screen Junkies Plus, Deadpool, Hateful Eight, maybe Now You See Me Too. Rambo Last Blood, we'll talk about that next time. It could be tomorrow, it could be next week, it could not happen for a month. I'm not very consistent and not a whole lot of complaints. So let's get back to this a little bit later, at another time, at another date, maybe. But again, sports are bad. Films versus TVs. TV shows seem to be a little more innovative. They seem to have more behind them. Underrated films versus overrated films. House of a Thousand Corpses and originals tend to be more underappreciated than the sequels. The sequels either underappreciated or a failure. And you've got upcoming films. Maybe See No Evil 2, Rambo Last Blood, Hateful Eight, and Deadpool. Maybe. We'll see. Suicide Squad, though, for sure. I want to see Batman be second rate. I want to see him be number 2 for once. Thanks, guys, for watching.